Hello everyone, today is Friday, February 12th, 2021 at 12:20 a.m. Guess I'll be just doing some random rambling right now. So I just watched some YouTube videos and stuff like that and researching things. Excuse me. But I realized that people feel threatened by me researching things. A lot of people are, pointing out the idea that it's hard to find the truth on YouTube anymore. And I talk about that all the time, the scarcity on YouTube and researching. So I hate when narcissistic abusers, they falsely assume, the know-it-all narcissistic abusers. They act like they think they know what you do all day or what you do every day. So if they act like as if 24/7, all I do is research Illuminati. When, nowadays it's hard to even find that information, even on certain websites. It's like, as if people aren't talking about the Illuminati and New World Order as much. They used to have some really good information, and I used to love to just sit down and watch those 8-hour long documentaries back in 2013 and 14 and stuff like that. And I miss those days. Even though, some of it I had to realize that even that had some leaven or deception in it as well. So, but I love learning the truth, and I love speaking the truth. And so I had to think about the how narcissistic abusers, they act like they think they know what you do all day. And some of them act like they think they're woke to the truth. So why do they want me to stop talking about it? Or they got so much knowledge, but they can talk about it, but then try to make me shut up. But then, or they can research and then tell me not to research. But then come to find out, I guess they didn't want me to connect dots and catch on to the fact that, they didn't want me to catch on to the fact that they're one of them, that they the ones who sold out. Because everybody who try to condemn me for researching Illuminati and New World Order, that even the ones who claim to be woke to the truth and know about it, there are some of them who are willfully brainwashed and try to shun you about conspiracy theories and try to bully, harass, and lecture me about, see you in those conspiracy theories? But, those are the ones who don't know the truth are willingly brainwashed. But then the ones who claim to be woke to the truth and narcissistic abusers, they use that to exploit you and hurt you really, really bad. I know from personal experience. So, the fake woke narcissistic abusers and regular narcissistic abusers who are ignorant and don't know the truth, they feel threatened by my research. And, I guess they felt like they're shaking in their pants when they find out that a so-called retarded person, learned the truth or is known the truth, So, and, if I'm 37 years old, I shouldn't be, told what to do. Or if you get mad at me for doing something, then yet you do it, But a narcissistic abuser would say that I sound incoherent or unrelated if I'm talking about what I just talked about, and then talk about how a video that I watched, a video that I watched about a lady, I don't know if she was mentally disabled or on drugs or demon possessed, and she was on the buses, the pretty new buses in Los Angeles, and and she slapped a man on, a man in a wheelchair on the bus. But me, oh, they shocking my foot. Me, watching that video triggered unwanted flashbacks and kind of a little mild anger, and it felt kind of bothered and disturbed about how the fake friend, who never was a real friend, but I was there for him and a true friend to him and did so much for him. The fake friend who recently turned into a perp, David Jane, how he would hypocritically get mad at me for being excited about the new buses. But it's okay. And I wonder, what did I do or say wrong? Why you get mad and roll your eyes and smack your lips and get an attitude? And whenever I get excited about the new buses, but then you get excited about the plane, and the exact model number and exact, kind of plane, and, tell me in, intricate detail about, the planes, but then get mad at me about, the bus. But that's like, and a narcissistic abuser be like, well, what does that have to do with that? Or what does one have to do with the other? Okay. That's more like another example of a narcissistic person getting mad at me, for the same thing that they do. You don't want me to research Illuminati, but then you research it. But you just don't, you want to see me as a competition. Why we can't learn and share the same thing and talk about it, But then if they tell me stop talking about Illuminati and New World Order, and then I look up and they're talking about it with another person, or if somebody condemn me, somebody, how a narcissistic abuser will operate is they would say, for example, if they tell me, like they try to berate and condemn me for shopping at Publix, and then 5 minutes later they're like, oh yeah, girl, because just yesterday me and my man went to Publix and we did this and that. And then I'd be like, well, how you tell me stop shopping at Publix and you say you just shopped there the day before? And then they'd be like, well, start your shit, you hear? Start your shit. And then we get into an argument, and then it escalates to them making jail threats and me getting locked up in a mental institution and all that, So, for me to point out their self-righteousness and hypocrisy, and they can call you a hypocrite and whatever, but they act like they have a license to be a hypocrite, and they don't even feel convicted about their hypocrisy and self-righteousness, and they just go on about their business. Wow, it's like my conscience is supposed to be nagged. That's like that retard Ramona, the biological sister. I better be quiet. But anyway, she fighting out unwanted intrusive thoughts. But in 2015, during the argument, me and her got into in 2015, and she said, fighting out unwanted intrusive thoughts. But she had four big fat pieces of birthday cake that she wasn't even entitled to or invited to have. She just took it upon herself to take 4 big, huge monster pieces of cake. And she tried to, use that as a weapon against me to call me fat and greedy while she's supposed to be diabetic and stuffing her face with a whole bunch of cake, and then call me fat and greedy. And so when she tried to say with your fat greedy ass or whatever, and I said, look at you fat, and you fat too, and you stuffing your face with cake. And then she's like, so what? I wasn't fat when I was your age. Saying, so what? At least I wasn't fat when I was your age. And I said, yes, you were 32 years old and fat. And then she tried to say, oh, that's because I had kids. No, that's because I had kids. I said, kids ain't got nothing to do with it. I've seen people who she only had 2 kids, but she had supposedly 2 miscarriages before the 2 kids. Or something like that. But, in the occult and New Age, and whatever, Freemasonry, occult, and witchcraft, I heard that a lot of, miscarriages, and not all miscarriages, because sometimes, it'd be a mistake, but a lot of times, especially the first one, it'd be a blood sacrifice that's covered up. They'll lie and say it was a miscarriage or an abortion. A person, I don't think my sister had an abortion, but, some people would have an abortion and then it's like a blood sacrifice, So she had whatever supposed miscarriage. And then, with the idea with her, being like with a married man who was married to someone else, and then if you're sleeping with a man who's married to another person, and then have not 1 but 2 kids for this married man who's married to a different woman, and then you quick to call another person a hoe. But you're a homewrecker. But you think you have a license to condemn people, but then you act like you like when people condemn you, it doesn't nag your conscience or make you feel bad. It's like when people condemn you, it goes in one ear and out of the other, as if you're talking to a brick wall. But they can condemn you all day, and if you do horrible stuff, weird stuff, but then you lecture me about wasting my money on $1, and I was 32 at the time, about $1 of just batteries at the dollar store, while you take $375 from people to go and gamble from money that's not yours, and then or you steal $500 to go gamble it up, and then be like, yeah, go get me $500 more after you go and gamble $500 in less than 2 minutes. And then, it seemed like she would go take other people's money. She would be a gambling addict and take other people's money and go gamble it up. She wouldn't gamble her own money, but whoever she can scam and get over on. And I thought that she would only scam and get over on people who you're seen by society as mentally retarded. If society sees you as retarded. But I heard that, Ramona has taken advantage of and scammed my biological Aunt Carrie off the biological dad Arthur's sister. My aunt off of Arthur's side, that, Ramona took advantage of her with a cell phone. And I'm like, well, wow. But Ramona and other narcissistic abusers, they sit around and talk shit about people all day, every day. But then they just have a fake agenda with me, that they don't want to hear anything negative. And they don't want to hear any negativity, but then they're the first ones who, with a deceitful looking smile on their face, love to soak in gossip, and they're self-righteous with it, about wanting to shut me out and not wanting to hear foolishness. But then they love the foolishness from strangers that they hear on TV. And I'm not trying to say any foolishness. We're supposed to be family, and you're supposed to be there for me and be supportive of me. And I never really had any, support. And that's why I'm, the way I am. And everybody else, they can get their closure and support and move on, while despite being wicked and, getting away with dirt and filth, But even if I talk about something positive or something good, I have to get ostracism for that too, or get condemnation. It's like I'm not allowed, and I heard that this is the targeted life, that the perps don't want us, to be happy or successful or anything like that, while they can sleep at night while trying to, take people's lives. But my own sister, Ramona, the one who Blake has called, a very evil witch, what she did was, when she would, now it slipped my mind what I was going to say. Oh, it slipped my mind what I was going to say. I remember now. So I will always feel drained, spiritually drained after dealing with her. The same kind of spiritually drained I would feel after coming from the fake Hell's Way church, or coming from, and I wasn't even a Christian yet, or when I would come from Hollywood, and then for the day I would come home and feel just spiritually drained. But I didn't realize I was, surrounded by a whole bunch of demons. But then they'll reverse it on you and lie on you, say you're demon possessed, or you're the demon, or that you're full of demons. Everything just battle is just so exhausting, And it seems like I know I had to block a lot of fake TI perps and regular perps and abusive people. But some of my so-called, supporters, they haven't been watching or commenting as much. And it's like, but then the fake TI perps and regular perps, they watch my videos faithfully. So, yeah, I had to just, talk about a little bit right now what was on my mind and what was bothering me, so I wouldn't go to bed with that on my mind. And so now that I've talked about it, I can, go to bed and rest right now. The fact that it's now 12:38. And so I'm about to try to go to bed now. And trying to practice to go to bed earlier. So thanks for listening to me. I'll see y'all in several hours, whenever this uploads. And if you're still supportive, then thanks for your support. But again, do not believe the lies and smear campaigns. And, don't believe the lies and smear campaigns about me.